For more than half a century, your nation's Air Force has been on the job, protecting your freedom and working to maintain peace in the world. Within months after the Air Force became a separate service, it rose to the challenge of the Soviet blockade of Berlin. The Air Force flew thousands of missions in the Berlin airlift. This successful operation demonstrated our country's resolve to stand our ground in the interest of freedom and to deliver humanitarian aid to victims of aggression. During the more than 40 years of Cold War that followed, millions of airmen served their country with pride and dedication. Whether they signed for one enlistment or made a career, they found their place on the team defending our freedom and contributing to the goal of world peace. The success of Desert Storm helped speed the end of the Cold War. The old foe is gone, but there are still many threats to freedom and peace in the world. Now your nation's Air Force is supreme in the skies, and we are globally engaged on a daily basis, flying freedom missions in the Balkans and Southwest Asia, conducting joint training exercises with allies worldwide, and continuing to provide humanitarian relief. All this with an active duty force that's one-third smaller than it was when the Berlin Wall fell. Increased deployments and smaller forces have required changes in how we operate. One thing hasn't changed, however: the quality and character of the men and women serving on the Air Force team. Whether they entered the Air Force through basic military training at Lackland Air Force Base or through one of the officer programs such as the Air Force Academy, Reserve Officer Training School, or Officer Training School, they have been physically and mentally challenged and tested. As successful graduates, they are confident, disciplined, and dedicated, sharing the Air Force core values of integrity, service, and excellence. These highly trained and dedicated people are working for you, and the jobs they do contribute directly or indirectly to the Air Force flying mission. Obviously, pilots and crew are on the front lines of air power, but they are the tip of a very large pyramid of men and women working to keep our planes in the air. On the flight line, air traffic controllers track incoming and outgoing aircraft and ground traffic, such as refueling and maintenance vehicles. Weather forecasters provide up-to-date pre-flight information. Crew chiefs, who are assigned one plane to be responsible for, make sure that plane is properly maintained and fit to fly. If repairs are required, they arrange for experts such as jet engine mechanics to fix the problem. These are just some of the many important jobs on the flight line. Equally committed to the Air Force mission are the men and women who provide medical care, communications, both satellite and local telephone lines, transportation, and all the other services needed on the Air Force team. They are also ready to deploy at a moment's notice in support of an Air Force flying mission or for humanitarian relief. The Air Force security forces frequently deploy to protect and defend planes, equipment, and personnel. They are skilled in using technology as well as weapons to get the job done. Medical personnel care for our forces and local civilians caught up in man-made or natural disasters. Airlift provides equipment and supplies for any mission. With people such as these, the future of your nation's Air Force is bright. We are already an air and space force, using satellites for reconnaissance, communications, and navigation. The Air Force has agreements with other government agencies and civilian organizations to utilize its launch facilities at Vandenberg Air Force Base, California, and Cape Canaveral Air Station in Florida. This will facilitate research and development of future technology. And there are plans for the future, such as aircraft that can take off from Earth and reach orbit without the use of massive disposable rockets. No matter how impressive our technology is, it's the people operating it that matter. They are the ones putting their lives on the line for you when our government sends them into harm's way to defend our freedom. These are the men and women dedicated to serving our nation with integrity and the commitment to excellence in job performance. They are your nation's Air Force.